When we experience difficult situations, it is helpful to take inspiration from the positive role models in our lives. Here at PeaceJam, we draw inspiration from our 40 Nobel Peace Prize winners. And so over the last few months, we've asked our PeaceJam community to reflect on the words of the Dalai Lama. True power comes from helping and serving others. We spoke to Jack, a member of our youth leadership team, Caitlin, one of our new Peace Jammers, and Honor, a member of Peace Jam's alumni network, who was recently featured on Channel 4's programme 24 Hours in A&E, about what these words mean to them. This is what they had to say.
These words couldn't ring more true than any time other than now. So, especially considering in lockdown, it definitely shows that our new heroes really have been all the key workers that we're thankful for. And in my context, at the beginning of the year, I had appendicitis, so I was in hospital for a bit, and I saw a poster talking about joining the NHS and kind of working on the front line, and it really made me think about all the times that the NHS has helped me, and I thought, now was what better time than to join, and I thought it was really right for me to stand up then and there.
When I think about the small acts that I do every day, that is incredibly empowering. When I help someone to wash, when I, watch someone go from being really, really sick and they slowly climb back to where you kind of want them to be, and you get to the point where you can discharge them, that is such a sort of powerful moment for me and also for the patient.
Well, obviously during lockdown there's been a lot of vulnerable people, like a lot of the older people have been very vulnerable if they're living alone because they're not being able to see family and friends. So, for example, my grandma, she has been shopping for my great grandma who was not being able to go outside. So just simple acts of kindness like that really does relate to the quote, because they are somebody else is serving and helping another person, which is like, the quote is definitely a positive message.
Absolutely, and that's something that we can all do, isn't it? We can all help in some way.
Yeah.
What do you hope we can learn from this period? What's your hope for your community after we come out of lockdown?
I hope that people don't take things for granted as much as they did before lockdown, and they'll become a lot more grateful as there was before.
Definitely that we become better people, and that we are more compassionate, more resilient, more forward thinking about how we can grow as people and as communities to prevent another pandemic, or, as we've been seeing recently, a lot of social disparity and humanitarian crises. So looking at how we can potentially stop this in the future and become closer with each other.
I hope that I hope there isn't a second spike, but I feel there probably will be. And so that just if there is, that everyone's mindful that actually, because it does, we don't want the healthcare service to get overwhelmed, because ultimately if we get overwhelmed, that means more people are going to die. And that's something that we don't want to happen. So, I would urge anyone who, if there is a local lockdown, pay attention to it. Don't put yourself at risk. Don't put people who are more vulnerable at risk, because ultimately then you're going to have a negative impact on us. And if that happens, then that has a ricochet effect and will then negatively affect the community.
What would your advice to other young people be?
Don't give up. Anything that you believe in is worth the effort you put in, and it will pay dividends in times. And don't be afraid of starting big. Sometimes the biggest issues are the ones that really aren't being tackled. And of course, believe in yourself, because you are the one that will drive the change, and you are the one who will carve your own path.
I mean, this is, we're talking about small acts, and I think even so, one of the things that I see on a day-to-day basis is that breaks my heart, especially, is like old people who come in and they have no one. So I think even, for example, I think befriending schemes that you can do, I think Age UK has them, and it means that you can be paired up with an older person who's more vulnerable and isolated and be a contact. So at the moment during lockdown, I know that those organizations are doing Skype type, like what we're doing now, Skype conversations, but hopefully moving forward when things are safer and what was being happened previously is you would actually go around and like you could sit down, have a cup of tea, or help them do that, or help do shopping. So I think that there are actually lots of places out there that you can, even if you're just helping one person, and that can make a huge impact.
Okay, Honor. Well, I'm going to leave you because I know this is your day off. So thank you so much for joining us. And I look forward to speaking with you soon. Take care. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you as well.
Thank you so much for your time today, Jack. It was absolutely
No worries. Thank you for having me.